Good morning and welcome to the final day of UMH-68 here in Martensville. I'm going to come across a little horse. It's been a long tournament and we're still here and we're looking forward to our medal round games. We're going to start with some rosters and player introductions, starting with Team Red here for the Brooks. Jonah Gruder. Number 5, Samuel Switzer. Number 6, Xavier Turin. Number 7, Drennan Blair. Number 9, Boston Unser. Number 10, Quinn Partington. Number 11, Nolan Hubick. Number 12, Oakland Rogers. Number 13, Reed Kahovic. Number 14, Tucker Strain. Number 15, Hudson Graham. Number 16, Cohen Kershane. And number 17, Carson Lamont. And in net for the red team, it's number 29, Gunnar Yachishin. And number 33, Brian Thiel. The head coach for Team Red, Connor Middleton, the head coach of the U14 Prairie Academy team. And their ambassador, Shane Smith from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Starting with the defense, number 2, Declan Scheidel. Number 3, Maxime Christian. Number 4, Andrew Pilipo. Number 5, Keenan Williams. Number 6, Brady Roth. And number 7, Sutter Cicchini. And on forward, number 9, Mason Livingstone. Number 10, Rylan Bergen. Number 11, Weston Filson. Number 12, Jax Fellner. Number 13, Walker Parkinson. Number 14, Jackson Walter. Number 15, Brody Grimm. Number 16, Sawyer Gontoniak. And number 17, Braden Quo. And the goaltenders, number 29, Lachlan Horn. And number 33, Teo Otitoju. And the head coach for Team Black is Courage Bear, the head coach of the Warman Wildcats here. And player ambassador, Rylan Pierce of the Everett Silvertips. We're going to give you, since it's the and the Up My Hockey podcast.
Our national sponsors: BioSteel, Iron Ghost Construction, Elite Prospects, and Up My Hockey. Introducing your coaches and ambassadors for today's game. Team Red head coach Connor Milton from the U15 Prairie Hockey Academy, and your Team Red ambassador Shane Smith from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Team Black head coach Courage Bear.
And we're back.
Warman Wildcats. And your Team Black ambassador, Rylan Pierce from the Everett Silvertips.
We're here at the beautiful Martensville Recreation Center, just opened back in October of this year. And we've had a fantastic stay. Wonderful sponsors at the local level, including Ritchie Brothers Auction, Boston Pizza, Weatherspoon Realty, A-Cane, Ainsworth Refrigeration, James Physiotherapy, Focus Goaltending, Tratch Power Skating. This is what we play for, folks. Both teams eager to finish the tournament on a high, having lost close ones last night. Red losing in overtime to Team Gray, and Team Black being shocked by an upset by Team Blue. Team Black, you know, is going to look to rebound there as well. Team Red hoping to continue on with the progress they made in the third period. Of course, remember yesterday that Connor Middleton, their coach, shuffled the lines putting together a couple combinations that pushed that game into overtime. And so to start, we've got Braden Quo in for Team Black on the face-off, and Strain in for Team Red, and it's Strain that ends up with the puck, and he puts it down into the Black zone. And we'll give you the starting goaltenders here in a minute, but the puck, as it so often does, finds its way onto Drennan Blair's stick. And Blair brings it up. Strain now coming in. Strain's got some room here. He takes that shot, but it's blocked by Maxime Christian, one of the many amazing stay-at-home defenders that we've been showcasing here as well. A lot of these guys featuring prominently on the score sheet, but you can't score if you don't have the puck, and these outlet passes from some of these big D-men, and these is making a difference for their teams. And Maxime Christian has been one of those guys that's been solid all weekend. And here's another guy, Scheidel from Nipawin, wearing the number 2 in the black. And both teams, as we've seen customary, just exchanging things, feeling each other out a little bit, going in. Quo with lifts the puck into the red zone, and he is coming off. And now we've got the line of Grimm and Filson and Roth, the Grit and Grind Award winner from his game yesterday in the white helmet there, coming to us from Alberta, one of the dozen or so players that were invited and made the trek here into Saskatchewan, and a huge hit there. Scheidel, we mentioned him earlier, the Nipawin product. He is the largest player in this tournament, standing 6'2" and 160 pounds, and he used all 74 inches of that height of his to lower the boom. And that puck put in now by Cecchini, who's been an anchor there for Team Black all weekend as well on the defensive spot, and his partner, Pilipo. And Cecchini and Pilipo, Cecchini back into his own corner, and he gets that pass up to Grimm now. Grimm passes it up to Filson. Filson looking for Fellner, but Fellner was a little bit behind the play, and the puck gets sent back in, and Kershane, the 4-goal scorer from last game, popping in. And we saw this line yesterday emerge in the third period. And Kershane and Lamont and Hubick with 2 big goals there in the effort, and Lamont scoring the third, I believe, and that pushed things to overtime. They were trailing the entire game by 3, and now we've got a break by Grimm up the right side. He's all alone though. He's going to try to keep the puck active while his teammates come in. Bergen, he's out now for a little bit. 17:10 to go in the first period, and Bergen puts it in the Hague product. The lefty, he's factored on the score sheet a couple times, and he's got a big frame, and he doesn't mind getting into the corners and digging that puck out. And Kershane putting a little pressure on that blue line, and it is Livingstone, and Livingstone leading Black with goal scorer, and he's back right now after a pinching defensive effort, and he's going to show a little bit of defense. And there we got Hubick going in. This line has been very impressive in the 20 minutes plus that we've seen them put together. Bergen now, good pinch on the back side behind the net, and Hubick again, he's quick on that puck. Hubick right in front, and now it comes back to Turin. Turin goes across to Gruder, to Blair, and now that puck cleared, and we're going to get our, oh no, it played Yashishin, who is starting for Team Red, elects to play that puck and nullify the icing. Sometimes it's a bit of a gamble on the goaltender's part, but if your team's got a little momentum, maybe you want to keep that momentum going and not have a stoppage in play. And now we've got Partington putting some pressure here on Roth, and Roth, he just holds his ground and gives the dish to Scheidel, and up the Walter now coming in, and Walter, his shot goes in. He shot that one from about 2 feet inside the blue line, and Yashishin looking at his blocker. There was a floater hit Yashishin's blocker that didn't have enough momentum to get deflected off, and it bounced straight off the block and into the net. that had a little more mustard on it. It might have deflected the way Yashishin was hoping, but Walter's shot puts a Team Black up by a goal with 4:30 into the first period. Shots on goal, 1 apiece. And Team Black strikes first here in the bronze medal game. There's Guntoniuk, the big centerman coming up. Guntoniuk on the left side, and he takes a shot at the net, and he fires it wide, and now out comes Boston Unser. Strain, and Unser now with a chance. Unser, and he's brought down, and they're going to flag that one down, and Cicchini, he's going to get the gate for a hook, and we're going to see Team Red get their first opportunity at a quality scoring chance with the power play. And this is the second line that was rejuggled here. Rogers and Hudson, Gran, and Kahovic. Kahovic, Gran, and Rogers. We saw Rogers move from the one line, so we had a swap of Rogers and Lamotte to make this new pairing, and this line all built for speed. If that puck, and we're going to see this an opportunity for them to be a little more mobile, and that puck kept in by Switzer, and Grimm lifts it up into the red zone, killing a little bit of time. 14:38 to go in the first, and $1:30 on the clock for the penalty. And in comes Kahovic, and he takes the mail in and brings it to Gran. Gran just flicks it up, and Barber now at the point. Barber just cycles it back in.
Number 14, Jackson Walter, assisted by number 6,
and the puck comes out. And now Switzer on the right hand turns around and centers it, and it goes into Gran's hand, and he cycles back to the red line. Some good movement here by Gran and Burr and Rogers. And now Gran in the corner, and he gets it up, and that plugged down. Nicely played by Kahovic. Kahovic patiently waiting behind. He's got Mahalitz on the point, but Kahovic elects to keep it. He's having a little, Williams having some struggles to keep it, and Christian now. And the thing with these little guys is they've got such a low center of gravity. They are extremely difficult to get off the puck because they can pivot away from any pressure that they feel. Very effective players. Other guys that I've seen in the tournament that are like that would be Selster from the Team Blue. Just really good at using every ounce of that frame of theirs to leverage that puck and keep it on their stick and wait for that break. They are always looking for open ice, and they're very effective at retaining possession of a puck, especially against bigger players. Like we see with Team Black, Roth tried to clear and it was unable to come out, and it ends up right on Mahalitz's stick. And a penalty winding down here, and we got our two big guys, and look at that, almost an opportunity. And we may have a break here for Black because the penalized player coming back on, and Cicchini, he's not able to get that feed that he was hoping for, and now puck into the in Black's possession. And there is Kershane in pursuit. And now Kershane, he's going to get a shot, and he's just over the net. His first shot attempt of the game. And now Mahalitz coming back, he recoils. Really good flow in this game. We're seeing lots of great showcase skating. A couple of stops by our goaltenders already. And now Kershane, he's got that puck on his stick, and it's now picked up, and that was Fellner. Fellner hits the outlet pass to Bergen. Bergen keeping it going. Bergen and his shot, and Yachishin was sharp to stop that one. Bergen, that was a dangerous step on his part, and he got in there. And Hubick now, Hubick with 2 goals in that last game, looking to add to it. And he's quite comfortable there working with Lamotte and Kershane. Now Kershane circling, looking for an outlet pass, and it's going to be Lamotte, and he chips it forward. Actually, Hubick tipping it forward. And now Fellner and Bergen looking for a change. You can see he's got a little bit of gas and quo. And that puck sitting right at their feet, making that a little problem. It's tough. And now we got Cicchini, and he directs one at the net, and it deflects wide. And not a lot of stoppages here. We're getting lots of good play here in the morning. And another shot by Yashishin, and a goal. And that is Filson with the follow-up. Oh, we're going to say that's Quo. Sorry, I got that. Braden Quo, the Edmonton product. He, with the follow-up, puts it up 2-0. And so with 11:23 to go, Team Black now has a cushion. And Team Red looking for a equal opportunity to pull themselves back into this game. And we might get it right here. Boston Unser. Unser turned aside by Lachlan Horn. Lachlan Horn getting the start. The Saskatoon Fury product. And Horn, that's probably his first big save that he's had to make, saving the goal. And we talk a lot about the offensive powerhouses and the defenders here. The goaltending's been fantastic too. There are no, with an invitational process like this, with 68 of the best players in this 2012 year, you're not seeing a lot of shots of low quality. You're getting a lot of high danger, high probability shooting percentage spots, and so they've been doing a fantastic job, and there's evidence of it. Strain right on the doorstep. And Horn was great positioning, came straight across, flashes the leather, and he comes up with the save. Team Black taking the face-off in their own zone, and this will be Fellner, and he is up. And that was Hudson Grand, and it looks like Fellner won that one, and Scheidel looking for a headman pass, and Livingstone, there's three guys there all alone, and Yachishin, Yachishin with a great save. At one point, that was almost a 3-on-0. Team Black, with a comfortable lead, has that opportunity to extend it. And I don't know if they're going to catch this, but Coach Bear, sporting a nice fancy fedora on the bench there. He's looking the part. I love it. It's always nice when we get a fashion statement from the coaches. And Coach Bear's hat game looking really good for the game here. But back on the action here, we've got Rogers now, and he's using that speed. That's why this line's there. Rogers with a shot. And he's probably wise to shoot that one there, because Roth had pretty good containment on, looked to be Gran on the other side, could have been a potential recipient, but Roth had a lot. Now Roth coming through, and he almost pokes through, but that puck just shot down into the Black zone, and there's Cicchini, and Cicchini freezes that puck on the puck board there, and back to Gruder now. Gruder with the shot, but it's gloved down by Roth. Now Gran making a look some spot, and Gran is dumped by Roth. Roth, one of the more physical players in this tournament, and as he gets older and as the quality of the hockey that he gets to play, he's going to use that asset well, and he's already applying it, and he's had a couple of big hits there. Now Gruder, his shot hits someone in front, and now this line of Kershane, Lamotte, and Hubick putting some tough pressure there, and there's a shot from Strain from the point, and Horn comes up with it. And Braden Boyle lines up with Corshane for this face-off to the right of Horn. And that puck won by Quo, the goal scorer, one of the goal scorers, and now Quo goes all the way down, puts a little pressure on Walter, the other goal scorer, this line with 2 goals already in the game. And that pinch, Pilipo, his puck, his pass deflected by Kershane, and now Blair has to go back into his own zone. And icing called. I think Yashishin called that. He had his hand up. I didn't see a hand up from the officials, but it does rightly go for a icing. And now another repeat to the right of Horn, Kershane, and Quo. Quo won the last face-off. We'll see if Kershane can even it. Kershane, that puck not quite back to Blair, and now he has to turn around and head back, and he is pursued by Walker Parkinson. Walker Parkinson paired up here with Quo and Walter. And it's tape-to-tape pass now to Christian. Christian up to Walter. And Walter just dumps it in. And the two goal scorers in pursuit now. And Drennan Blair, up he goes. And now Kershane with the shot, and Horn steers that at arm's way into the corner now. And that puck, and it's Grimm. Or it doesn't, no, it's not Grimm, it's Williams, the defenseman, and he is knocked off the puck, and now that puck comes around, and Maxime Christian chips it up, and Walter put a little body on, but Hubick ends up with the puck, and Hubick to Kershane. Kershane, he was in tight, and he puts it up into the netting, and we get the face-off. BioSteel is our platinum sponsor. Between hockey practices, tournaments, and road trips, staying hydrated is a must. And now it's easier than ever with the BioSteel Variety Pack at Costco, Canada. Keep the kids game ready and feel good about what they're drinking. BioSteel, the platinum sponsor. And now Roth. And they're gonna, Roth upends Livingston, and he's not feeling, he comes out the worst for wear, and a penalty call to Team Black. We'll see Roth coming down hard there. And we're gonna give a minute, and coach is out to take a look, but he came down on top of something, and he is in pain there. We'll take a minute just to talk quickly about the impact that Bames Physiotherapy have had on the weekend, and Bames Physiotherapy acting as one of our tournament sponsors, player safety top priority at UMH-68. We're proud to partner with Bames Physiotherapy in Martensville to help make things happen with expert care and individualized treatment plans. Bames Physiotherapy has been keeping athletes healthy and game ready for over 20 years. Their team is on site at UMH-68 Saskatchewan, providing top-notch support to ensure every athlete can perform and recover at their very best. Bames Physiotherapy, trusted care for every stage of the game. And it looks like the young man's going to get up. And that just looks, half of us will understand probably the pain of that particular injury. And he is a gamer. And he's probably been in this spot before. We'll get an elected representative to go in the box in his stead. And it looks like it's going to be Grimm doing that. And if I'm a betting man, I'm sure we're going to see Roth come back into the game once he's shaken that off. So just came down hard. It looks like he came down right on top of Partington. And probably right around the same time that this penalty goes, he'll be back on the bench and he'll be ready to go. But in the meantime, Switzer with that shot on net, and Cicchini firmly firing that down as this penalty starts here. Power play for Team Red might get them back into this game. They're trailing by 2 with 6:36 to go in the first period. Shots are 5-5 apiece. And we're seeing a little bit of movement from Barber now from his defensive spot. Barber runs into a wall at Pilipo. And now a scrum at the half board here. And who's going to come out of it? And it's Red. And that shot from the point by Switzer, steered aside by Horn. And Unser now in there. Puck on a strain stick. Strain over to Barber. And Barber settles it down. Switzer, his shot fans, but he's able, it comes into the sticks of Unser. Now we've got a 2-on-1 for Team Black. We've seen a couple of shorties this tournament. And a big stop by Yashishin. And Yashishin proven to be sharp. And there's Maxime Christian now and Team Black on the offense while they're killing the penalty. Puck back to Williams. Williams just puts it on net into space, and it finds a tip there. And now up comes Unser, and puck ends up once again back on the stick. I think it was momentarily drawing back. Weston Filson, sorry. And that puck right into Bergen's hands in the slot. Bergen on his backhand, and he gets one on net, but Yashishin swallows it up. And 20 seconds to go in the power play. And we're looking, we don't see that white helmet of Roth yet back on in there, but I'm sure he'll be back here. Coach Bear going down to just check out his athlete, make sure he's doing okay. I just can't get over that fedora of his. I have one of those at home myself, and I probably should have worn it today if I'd have known he was going to show up sporting that. But Coach Bear obviously enjoying himself too here at the event. We've had some amazing opportunities to have these young men mentored by some phenomenal local coaches here. Keller, Bear, Middleton, and Gordon all featuring there, and we got a goal. And Hudson Gran, right as the penalty expires, he puts it back to within a goal. And Hudson Gran, he's one of those guys that he's elusive. You got to keep an eye on him or he gets away from you, and that time he capitalizes on that situation. And now, with 4:45 to go in the first, Team Red pulled to within a goal. We were talking about the coaches. We've had a great opportunity to have some expertise working with them, and I think in our conversations with the coaches during the course of the tournament, they've quite enjoyed working with these young fellas. Most of the time, a lot of our guest coaches are working with 16 to 18 year olds, and so having a chance to take a step down a couple of years and work with an excited group of young men is refreshing for them as they are getting ready now. Many of them were in the scheduling meeting for the AAA U18 League. I know that a couple of them had to step out on the Friday night just to get a little bit of that, so we're excited to see that season getting up and running again. And of course the Regina Pat Canadians, the national champions, that league featuring several of our coaches, Coach Bear and Coach Gordon and Coach Keller, is nationally, that league providing the national champion gives an indication as to the quality level of the coaches that we've got in the tournament here. And now we see this team's feeling out, just taking a look down. I think we're still looking. We haven't seen Roth return yet, but I'm hopeful that we'll see that young man back again here. Walter with there. Now Hudson Gran and his line are back out there again. He just flicks it in, and that is steered right to Williams. And Williams now, he's coming in. Williams going end to end all the way, and that puck goes right into Drennan Blair's hands. And no forechecker there, and so Kershane able to come out. And Kubik, Kershane, both swinging past that puck and unable to come out with it, and it gets into black again. And Quo goes down hard, and he comes off to get a little bit of a breather. I might have knocked the wind out of him a little bit, but now we've got Williams there, his shot wide, and there we've got right on the doorstep. We got Fellner, and that clapper he shot not quite there, and the net comes off its moorings. Focus Goaltending, a huge shout out to them as we've been talking about the goalies a little bit today. Focus Goaltending, leaders in elite goalie development and proud supporters of UMH-68. They took the opportunity to provide a little bit of a written report for the eight goaltenders that are on site here, and I'm sure they're going to find some value in that activity. Focus Goaltending, shaping the next generation of elite netminders, one save at a time. And now we've got an opportunity there. And speaking of goaltenders, a nifty save by Horn. Kershane looking very dangerous going in there, and Kershane electing to shoot it. Pardon me, that might have been Kubik. But the focus is on Horn there with the save, and now the face-off to the left of him. And Strain, he wins that face-off, puts it instantly onto Partington's stick turn over to Drennan Blair, and that shot through traffic, and Horn with the save again. He's been pretty sharp so far, saving 8 of 9 shots that he's faced. And on the other side, Yachishin with 7 save effort in the first period with 2:33 to go. And Strain and Fellner, and that one comes up maybe as a draw. I don't know if you have a draw there, but I would say that since it's on black stick and Fellner comes out of it, will give that draw win to Fellner. Fellner now looking. And now Partington, he's got a player with him, Unser, and joining in is Strain. Just a touch offside was Unser. That's because Partington, the stick check, took that timing out, and now we've got a face-off. And we've got the Gran, Kahovic, and Rogers line coming out, and they will be facing Livingstone and Bergen and Williams. Pardon me, Walter, the right wing on that line, and Cicchini headmans it up to Livingston. And Livingstone unable to track that down, and it goes for an icing. 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the game. Remember, this is in the period. This is the bronze medal game here. Things fairly even. Team Black with an edge on the goal total of 2-1, but it's 9 shots apiece by both teams, and things have tightened up significantly since the round robin. The round robin was a shooting gallery, but when the medal's on the line, that two-way game, very evident in both teams as the numbers drop as far as the score sheet is concerned. And Gran in front there as Kohovic to Gran. Both players looking very similar in their style of play, and wearing 13 and 15. Sometimes a little tough to see from up here, but either way, Horn manages to get on top of that. And now Kohovic lining up at the top of the circle. We're going to see if Gran's probably would have won that, but Kohovic was down on the top of the circle instead. And now coming up the right-hand side is Cicchini, and he makes a nifty move, a little edge control there, shifted his hips and bought himself a little bit of extra space. And now Maxime Christian getting in, and he's pinching with that 1-goal lead. And these defensemen are deciding that they're going to take a little bit of offensive time themselves. And there goes Cicchini, and Cicchini keeping that puck alive, gets it down low, and Livingstone gets it in front, and Team Black unable to convert. And up with a minute to go, Kohovic, and he just jumps it in. Gran in pursuit there, Rogers. This retooled line with number 12, number 13, number 15, causing some chaos and confusion as they're trying to go. I'm having a hard time sometimes with the numbers, and imagine the defenders. All they see is just the black helmet coming across with speed. And you've got to factor that line. And they've got the lone goal for Team Red here, 30 seconds to go in the period.
This is your last chance to get merch. We're selling that top of the concourse, so be sure to stop by after the game.
Make sure to take a look at a lot of the great video footage that has been shot here today. You can go to the Up My Hockey YouTube channel, and you might want to give that a follow and subscribe to it, because Jason and his team have put up an impressive number of episodes of his podcast, along with some of the summaries of some of the work that he's been doing here. Nice save by Horn. A lot of the nice work that has been going on in the off-ice portion of the weekend. Of course, UMH-68, so much more than just the 10 games featured in the tournament. Players and families having had an opportunity to do a lot of off-ice sessions. There were sessions with player agents and sessions on nutrition and mindset and everything that these young men are going to need as they progress as developing adults, most importantly, but as hockey players, secondary. And Jason's got some fantastic follow-up stuff, and we highly recommend give him a follow. And that is the Horn, and we are done with 20 minutes here in period 1, and we're going to give you your scoring summary very quickly. But at this point, we want to provide a little bit of exposure to some of our sponsors. Ritchie Brothers, the local auctioneer here in the Martensville area, are the sponsors of the 3 Stars. And when Ritchie Brothers When it comes to buying and selling heavy equipment, Ritchie Brothers is the name you can trust. As a global leader in industrial auctions, they connect buyers and sellers with unmatched service and reach. Ritchie Brothers, powering big moves on and off the rink. And we're going to come up with our game summary after the first period. Here's your scoring summary. Things started off with Jackson Walter. Eluded goalie Yashishin, Declan Scheidel and Brady Roth piping in the. And almost immediately afterwards, Shutter Chikini went off for a hooking penalty. Following that kill, Braden Quo made it a 2-0 game with a feed from Keenan and Williams from Sawyer Guntoniak. And then with 4:45 to go on the power play, Hudson Gran with the goal, with the assist by number 12, Oakland Rogers. And that's where we stand, 2-1 after 20 minutes to play.
We're live here at the Martensville Recreation Center for the first ever UMH-68 U14 Challenge. And we're joined today by the Prairie's Regional Director, Hugh Hamilton. Hugh is a community member here in Martensville and former professional hockey player himself. Hugh, tell us a little bit about how you brought this event to Martensville.
Well, I spoke to the boys a little bit yesterday about connections, and connections are so important in any facet of life, but I've really found as I'm getting older that the connections that you make in your past really make things happen in the future. And so Jason and I were teammates over 30 years ago, and when he called me about a year ago asking, would you like to help with a hockey tournament? I said, absolutely, because that's what you do for your friends. And here we are. I can't believe how much work this has been, and how amazing the experience has been, not just for the kids, but for myself.
Now, we've had the first day, which involved the testing and some of the earliest sessions with families and with players. We're now into the game part, sort of like the payoff, and it's a really quick turnaround. What are your expectations for the rest of the weekend? What do you hope the kids bring from this event, and maybe even their families?
Well, going back to that, it's the connections part. For a lot of these kids, this is the first time where it's this type of an event, so it's probably not going to be their last. So having the experience of going into a dressing room, not knowing the coach, not knowing your teammates, knowing the schedule, but still it's a little bit new. It might be a new rink that you haven't been playing at. So, being able to have the experience of having all of those different things happen will benefit them in the future when it goes live, when it's for real.
able to put it out there almost like immediately. So
Oh, yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you're from Moose Jaw?
I am, yeah.
Nice. Where do you go to school?
St. Agnes.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably no pad, Owen. You got your shirt on, you're okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You're good?
You played all game.
All right, we're joined here. This is maybe a first time for this. We're joined by player Owen Grant, who won the Grit and Grind Award yesterday morning. And Owen, you want to show us a little bit of the hardware that you brought to the interview?
Yeah, so I broke my arm in the first period in 2 places, here and here. But, yeah, now fully cast up for 4 to 6.
Now, Owen ended up hurting his arm, I guess, and that's the way he describes it. In the first period, didn't tell anybody, continued on with the game, and then came off, smarting. We're a province here where we had like Bobby Baughan out of Lanigan who played with a broken leg and won the Stanley Cup. Now we've got Owen Grant here with the broken arm.
Yeah.
Owen, going into the final, watching your teammates play, where are you going to watch this game from?
Hopefully the bench, but just gotta go cheer him on as best as I can. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
gonna have to happen.
And where do you play your usual minor hockey?
I play U13 in Moose Jaw.
Okay, so Warrior.
Yeah.
I would say that you probably lived up to that Warrior code there with the with that opportunity. Are you a right-hand shot or a left-hand shot?
I'm a lefty, so this would be my bottom hand.
So tell me what that one was kind of like. Obviously, you got some control with the top hand, but what was going on there in the game? Were you able to grip it, or?
It's hard to, but you can't let them know you're hurt. You just kind of got to go with it.
So I guess they would say that an undisclosed upper body injury would be what the media would report that as. So you've obviously got a week left of school here, and then what's the summer looking like?
Golf, hockey, and working out.
Golf and working out and hockey. Okay, well that's going to be really important. I mean, you're young. When I broke my arm, I don't think I was up for playing a couple more periods of hockey. So you're obviously young, and you're going to have the importance of doing a really good rehab. And then I remember they're talking about the gift of the rehab, and you got some mobility in your fingers, so you'll be able to get a chance. Where'd you get your cast, and how'd you get that all done?
The Children's Hospital.
Good thing that we have one that here in the city for sure.
They got me in real quick.
So Owen Grant, player for Team Blue, he'll be cheering on his teammates from the side, and this is the Grit and Grind Award winner from Game 1 yesterday. All the best, Owen, and we hope you heal up really quick.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the interview.
All right, we're back after 20 and an intermission. And some good news. We just had that interview, of course, with Owen, who won't be playing there, but we're pretty happy to see Roth back at his helm there. He had a little bit of a injury piece that he dealt with, but he's shaking it off, and we're nice and happy to see him back on the black bench. And we wish Owen well as he recovers. We've been having all kinds of great visitors up here in the booth, just some fantastic people, and hockey people are some of the best people that you're going to meet, and we have certainly enjoyed that as we start talking about the last couple of games here. So thanks to everybody for all the positive work. I really am going to have to showcase that most of the things that you have seen, actually, in fact, all of that you've seen is courtesy of Alvin Tam here, who is working with Jason to do all the broadcast work, and Alvin's been sitting there faithfully beside me, listening to me chatter all weekend. Another great save by Horn. And so all those wonderful review, or pardon me, the live feed and the instant replay, which you did. If you're used to watching live feed hockey, you don't very often get a replay like you do here. Alvin's been providing the replays, the live feeds, and the highlight reels, and he's been doing all of that while filming and making sure that I've got all the things that I need. So we always got to talk about the people that elevate and make you look very good. Jason and Alvin have done a fantastic job here, and we sure appreciate the positive comments. And now we are back into the action here, and Team Red looking to chip up, and we've got the Kershane line now, and Kershane coming in, and he's got some room to shoot, and he scores. And that line producing again, and we talked a lot about this yesterday. Coach Connor Middleton made an adjustment at the third period, and he put this line together, and he put the line of Gran, Rogers, and Kahovic together, and both those lines have come up with the 2 goals for Team Red. Now we'll see if we get a pushback from Black. And Team Black has been resilient this entire tournament, and we'll expect that nobody's under the illusion that we aren't going to have more goals here. But at this point, this is the exact perfect scenario for us here at UMH-68. A competitive game in the bronze medal matchup, and Roth back at the back, anchoring the point there for the team, and that shot just off the side. And the net coming off its mooring again. We've seen that a few times here. And this time it's Horn, the benefactor of the stoppage of play. And we get a line change from Team Black. Grimm, Filson, and Fellner. They'll come out and ply their trade for a little bit. See if they can generate some movement and some activity, put some points back on the board. It's been 2 unanswered goals for Team Red. Hudson Gran lining up, and Gran just chipping it forward into the corner. Pilipo putting over to the Cicchini, his line mate, and Cicchini does what he can to get it up. And now we've got the puck coming out of the zone for Team Black. And Fellner, Filson, and Grimm coming out and putting a little body on to see if they can't get an opening or a gap needed. And then Fellner taking hard into the boards there, and we're going to get a penalty. And he's popped up, but Team Red's going to go on a penalty kill, and Team Black will have a chance to get back on this game. Filson just with that shot and a little bit of extended 6-on-5 time here now for Team Black. And Filson to Quo, one of the Edmonton products here, Braden Quo.
Number 16, Cullen Korshane.
And we are Drennan Blair going to the box. And Team Red with the opportunity to go. We'll have to kill a penalty now. Team Black with the chance to get back into the lead, and that puck won by Team Black. And Cicchini down to Grimm. Grimm to Cicchini. Cicchini he takes a shot and it goes off the pad of Boston Unser. And Cicchini now, he takes a look again. He's looking for some room there. Grimm now, Grimm takes it down to the dot and he sees an open man. He managed to get there, but Fellner not able to get anything on that. And he can't get it. And now he recovers the puck in the corner. Puck comes back up. Pilippo over to Cicchini. Cicchini feathers it in front and that puck comes loose. And Filson had a look at it, but it gets steered into the corner away from there. 1:12 to go in the power play, and Team Red with the clear. Strain now providing a little bit of forecheck pressure, and now Unser with it. And here comes Cicchini, and he's got a head of steam, and he makes the zone. He's at the top of the circle, and he passes it back, but it ends up on the stick of Boston Unser. And Unser, he takes it down, and deep. Filson now up to Maxime Christian. Christian, nice pass to Bergen, but Mahullet's able to recover. And now Cicchini gets it inside, and that puck steered back into the corner. Bergen using his body to shield the puck, trying to get some space here, and he finds it. And now a fresh set of legs for half the power play team. Williams coming out now on the point. Pilippo getting a chance to get a break. And now that puck out, and we've got a foot pursuit. Looks like it's going to be Kahovic. And Kahovic taking a look. He's got Partington, and he's got some speed. And he comes out of the corner to Partington, and that deftly picked up by Maxime Christian. And that's the end of the power play, but a shot by Livingston. And Livingston, he's been lethal from that spot, and Yachishin did really well to come across and take down the ankle in the last seconds of that power play. And Livingston, he takes a shot, and it goes into the corner and picked up by Partington. Now Partington up to Drennan Blair, but it's stopped by Williams. And Williams with the quick stick, he gets that puck up now, and coming up ice now, we've got Livingston, the team leader in goals for Team Black. Livingston to Bergen. Bergen's shot stopped. Roth now. Roth's puck deflected. And a shot by Livingston. Gruder swings it around, but it's picked up by Scheidel. Scheidel just putting it straight back into the corner for Bergen. But offside the call. That puck just coming out. And so Red's got a little opportunity to come up and start that headman pass, and Kershane now with a little bit of speed, and he comes in, he caves around the net. He's got some room, he's going to give it to Lamont. Lamont back to Kershane, and Kershane steps over his stick, but Hubick now, and Hubick, his centering pass falls unable to connect, and that icing waved off. Gruder all the way back behind his net now, and he's pursued by Quo. And that puck centered up, and Kershane ends up with it, but it's back, and Lamont now, and delayed offside as Black goes back into their zone, and Quo now. Quo, even though he's bodied in there, he retains possession of the puck, gets it across into space. Pilippo and Cicchini, a little bit of communication error there, and it ends up on the stick again to Red. And now it comes over to Turin, and Turin, he's brought in hard, and Kershane takes exception to that, and Cicchini and Kershane are going to exchange pleasantries there, and the officials are going to send Kershane to the box. And Cicchini shakes his head a little bit in disbelief too. He was the recipient of that check and a little bit of after by Kershane. But they're going to put both players in the box and keep things going 5v5. And at this age level, sometimes a little bit of a chance to kind of cool the jets might be an opportunity. And a couple of questions to the official just to check to make sure that the right call was made. And the officials have been really solid here. We've got a young group of guys here who are also in a development situation, and they've overall done a pretty good job maintaining a line here at the tournament. And play resumes, and we're even. Rogers And he calmly, that ended up in his skates for a second there. And now Drennan Blair. Drennan's been in the box too, but he's not this time, and I'm probably enjoying a little bit of opportunity to rush that puck. And that puck shot down by, it was Turin with the shot, and it sails wide. And now we've got a break in Quo. Quo with some room, and he's pursued by the speedy Hudson Gran, and Turin now. Turin with some speed, and he's coming out, and he sees daylight ahead of him, and he's going to try to take that all the way in, and we got a trip. And so often you see that a player uses those amazing skating skills and it pulls a penalty. Skating and edge work so important, and we're lucky to have Trach Power Skating joining us, and so it's a great opportunity to mention the support that we've received from them. Speed, precision, edge control, Trach Power Skating, where serious players sharpen their skills, and that was evident there. And a good rush from a defenseman, and that was an advantage for his team. And there's Switzer with the shot. And that's picked up, and on the penalty kill, up we go. And it looks Braden Quo with the shot, and that one just going wide. And that's Filson, sorry. Filson and Quo, those numbers looking very similar up the top. And Filson on the penalty kill, lone forechecker there, and Schmier, he's unable to stop it. Now we've got Unser and Partington, and the pass across to Partington. Partington not able to put it, and that puck goes wide, and that's a huge play from Horn. Partington, he comes up a little bit hard there. Things starting to heat up here at the Martensville Recreation Center. And Quinn Partington with a really good opportunity, or I can't remember if that was Unser or Partington, but he got in there and upended, and that's going to be a penalty in any league that you see, unfortunately. They got to need a knee contact in red. And now Partington with the goal and the delayed offside, and Gran, we'll see. He looks like he's skating that one off, but we're going to have a tripping call, but that's negated by the goal by Partington. Quinn Partington able to go in there, and he makes good, and now it's 3-2 red. And that, we'll wait and see there, but you don't see that very often where you have a penalty there, and I'm not sure if that nullifies the penalty or not, because we had the delayed call. And I think we're going to see Coach Bear. Well, it's not going to be Coach Bear making that, having that conversation, but I think they're going to pull, yeah. Maxime Christian coming off a little premature. At that point, had the save been made, and correctly so, Black would have been assessed a penalty, and so the goal by Partington should have nullified the penalty call. Both teams sending a representative there, but the correct call would be that the delayed penalty would have been nullified, but the existing power play would continue on. And it's amazing how rare you see a situation like this. I've watched a lot of hockey, and I'm trying to remember a time where that may have happened, but correctly so. Some wise heads are reminding us of the fact that indeed, when we have a delayed penalty, it is effectively the same as if a man was in the box. It just means that the goal negated that. And so it should still be 5v4. We're going to iron that out, and we want to make sure we got lots of time here on the schedule, and we'll take the opportunity. But along the short, Team Red with the goal, and we still have a power play, and that's going to be a 4-minute assessed penalty. And somehow, in the math of it, Filson's knee-on-knee is being assessed a double minor, and so Red not only scores the goal, but we're going to have a penalty assessed there. And I think the math actually adds up. The penalty, the most recent penalty, is the one that elapses, and the double minor is still assessed, and now the Team Red with some momentum here and a 1-goal lead. They're going to have 4 minutes of extra player time, and
number 15, Graham.
when the dust settles here, Team Red's got themselves a power play, and Gruder's shot is blocked. Bergen adjusting his pads after that shot block. And Team Black will go to work here, trying to make sure that they stay within a goal. And Team Red hoping to seize the opportunity somewhere within the 4 minutes to extend that lead. And now Team Black, their power play, or the penalty kill is coming off. This is amplified by the fact that it's the long change here, so not easy to get off. You're gonna have a complete vacating of the zone before, and that one, oh, whoa, and Coach Bear focusing on the penalty kill. Quo somehow ended up without a stick there. Play continues. And Drennan Blair now, he looks up. He's got two men that he can hand it to, but he's going to come right up, driving middle. Now he takes it over. He's going to wait for a second just to get a little bit of extra time. And he finds a guy across the way, and a shot by Strain, and Horn backstops there, and the two players involved in the coincidental penalty situation are released, so Korshane will be back as a tool for that. And Cicchini, who's been so valuable in that penalty kill, he's now out of the box as well. And Filson, the lone player left, and he'll sit there for another 2 minutes. The first minor penalty has been killed by Team Black. Now Team Black will look to see if they can kill that second one. Puck up to Unser, and it's turned away. The puck now on Blair, Drennan Blair's stick, and Blair gets it across to Strain, and once again, it's cleared. Quo picking that up, setting it all the way down, and Nutrition has a tap on it, and he gets it into his Turin's hands, and now Turin able to turn it up, and Unser now, and Team Black doing well. They are standing up this power play unit consistently at the line, and now the puck down low, and Unser with the feed through. Barber, that puck came out momentarily, and now Black's got a chance, and Parkinson on the penalty kill. He's just going to eat some time. He's actually looking for a goal, and that puck gets turned around quickly, and streaming in from the right-hand side is Hubick. And now we got Hubick out, and that puck again lofted down, and Yashishin stops it, settles it for Barber. Barber now, he gets past the first past Guntoniak, and Barber coming in. Barber now staying in it, staying in possession, and Guntoniak now, and he wisely knows his role at the moment isn't to get too deep. He needs to stay back. And Cicchini and his Team Black penalty kill has limited to almost, I don't know if there's been a shot by Team Red in those 4 minutes, so hats off to Team Black, and they're going to get a little bit of a lift here when they get that remaining extra player. And here comes Filson, and so they kill the double minor, and the goal that triggered the double minor still stands as the edge that Red is looking for, and we'll see. Gruder just funnels it back in. Hubick now, and Roth able to just use that big frame of his, and he's able to come up with the puck, but it comes back to Hubick now. And Fellner now, he's got a little bit of room, and he breaks it up, and we've got Fellner and an attempt to get that pass across to Guantoniak, and that one ends up back in the hands of Red. And Red with a shot and a goal. And we can see it right from up here. There was a tiny space just in the lower right-hand corner, and Lamont spins and finds it, and Team Red opens up a 2-goal lead. Sorry, play blown dead for an offside situation. And we're just arranging right now whether we're going to get Rowan Guest up, the remaining ambassador, the Team Blue ambassador. We're trying to get him up here before that game for the second period intermission. Either way, we'll have him or we'll have the Saskatchewan director of the UMH process, Hugh Hamilton, perhaps to come up and share his thoughts as well. And then in that last game, we're going to have a chat with Jason Panolan, the director of UMH-68 at the national level. Jason will have a chance to share his thoughts on what he thinks about the weekend and how things have gone in this inaugural event here in Saskatchewan. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of great things to say. But stay tuned in that second intermission. We'll have some interview opportunities with someone. And that puck goes for an icing call, and it'll come all the way back into the black zone. Team Red now holding the edge with the 2-goal lead. And they just keep chipping away here. And that is Partington coming out with the puck after that face-off. Partington, and he's separated. Scheidel able to get him disconnected from the puck. And somebody's lost their stick here, and it looked like it was Gontoniak, and Gontoniak's able to pick that back up and able to get down there. Parkinson providing a little bit of pressure there on the stick, and Parkinson rewarded with the puck for his efforts. And he now taking a look, he gets a shot, and that one wide. And now out comes Boston Unser and his line mates, and Scheidel puts the body on him, but Unser's able to get through him. Brennan Blair's coming in. Blair centering it. And it ends up in the back of the net. And Team Red now with a 3-goal lead. And it was Partington able to put a stick on it at the 5:36 mark remaining in the period. And some pressure by Red turns that puck over. And Team Black looking for an answer here. Team Red now with a 3-goal lead with 5:36 to go in the period. And play resumes here. Lamont, who scored the 4th goal for Team Red. And that retooled line, and Kershane with the heavy hit. Lamont. And Lamont looking dangerous there, but Horn able to settle things down. And that puck clears. And now Black coming up. And we got lots consistent back check, and there's a shot there by Filson. Grimm with the pickup on the corner, and Williams has to go all the way back in his own zone. Maxime Christian. And that pass is going to go for an icing. And a face-off won by Hudson Grand. He's got a goal in this game.
Team Red goal is second.
And puck put on net, and Grand very dangerous in front with the tip. And Kahovic down low. That was actually Rogers, pardon me. Rogers able to get something to go there, and now we've got Walter. Walter had the first goal for Team Black here this morning. He'd like to get a second and get his team back into this game. And Cicchini keeps hold of the board. Cicchini again. He's being harassed by Kahovic, and that puck bounces out of harm's way, and now we've got a break up, and it is Kahovic. And Kahovic's got Rogers with him. Kahovic staying on the puck. And now he's taken out of the play by Cicchini. And Livingston having to curl behind his net, looking for some space, and he's getting harassed there by two red forecheckers. And now with red with the 3-goal lead, a little bit opportunity to put a little more pressure up front there. And that shot, Walter with the shot, and a goal. Walter's shot. And Yashishin had a little trouble, and Shikini on the pinch, and he gets another one. And now a little life for Team Black with 3:38 to go in the second period. And Shikini following that play up. And a little life here for Team Black. They got lots of time here. And we've seen momentum shifts in this tournament. And we'll see. Black's got guys who can put the puck in the net. And so does Red. And Red doesn't miss a beat. They go back to work and putting some pressure on there. And it's Strain, Scheidel, and Strain standing right there in the blue paint. And Scheidel decides he's going to headman it up. And it ends up in Quo's skates, and Roth able to get Strain off the puck. And now Black looking to move it up. And we've got Quo man on bar or on turn, and Turn able to get his stick in there. And it stays out of the net, and it'll bring up offensive faceoff for Team Black. And stay tuned. At the intermission, we're going to have Saskatchewan Provincial Director Hugh Hamilton in for the interview, and he's going to have an opportunity to reflect on the experience and the learning, and potentially any future plans perhaps for a follow-up event in coming years here. Hamilton, of course, a local hockey coach and executive. Oh, and that shot just careens and almost there. Also veteran of several campaigns, and we've got a trip there now, and Williams will be going to the box. Hugh Hamilton, an opportunity to come and share his thoughts on the last day of the weekend here, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have another Red power play with 2:31 to go. Red holding the edge on shots over Black with a 20-17 total there, and we're going to get Kershane in for the face-off, and for Team Black, Jackson Walter. And Walter with a good win, much needed win in that, but it is Switzer coming across, and Switzer hanging onto the puck, and that shot just backhanded up and over by Hubick. Nice sequence there, but Horn, as he's done all weekend, proving up to the challenge, the Saskatoon product. He's had a couple of really solid performances here for Team Black, and comes up with a good positional save there. It's tough to score when you're bring the net so well there, and Red winning the face-off. And Lamotte now takes the shot, and that's blocked by Roth. And Switzer forced to go back into his own zone. And a nice touch pass to Kershane. Kershane finding some space. Kershane now working his way, still in possession, gets to Barber. Barber with the shot. And he's wide on that. They're going top here, shooting high on Horn. And there's Kershane. And Horn makes the stop. Roth ensuring nobody gets anywhere near that goaltender. And Horn, with 1:16 to go, making his 17th save of the game. And now we've got Hudson Gran, and the line of Gran, Kahovic, and Rogers will take a chance, or take a shot at getting their team up back into a 3-goal lead here. And immediately up on him, Gontonia. He gets in and is able to jar that puck loose, and it comes loose and back into the red zone. Nice move there by Cicchini, who has the last goal. And Cicchini with the shot, he hits the crossbar. That's 11 now. Crossbars hit during the course of this tournament. And Cicchini looking deadly there from the top of the circle. And we'll see if that develops into something off this face-off to the right of Yashishin. And he's going to get another shot at it, perhaps. Shikini and Black. You wouldn't know they're on the penalty kill. They've had a lot of experience with that this period. They've had some issues staying out of the box, and that might be one of the messages preached by Coach Bear on what might be needed to be successful in this bronze medal game. And there goes Grand back to work, and it's just chipped back. At least 3 penalties to Team Black during this second period. And fatigue may start playing in here. We've got 5 games in a little over 2 days of time, and these young men, as athletic and as in shape as they are, and we're seeing a couple more penalties than we're used to just because of the fast speed of some of these skaters and a little bit of less in the legs, I would suggest. But undaunted, Team Black with another penalty kill, and they stay in this. And right out of the box, Williams, he's decided that he's set himself a standard that he wants to set a physical presence. And oh, that one, not sure where. Grand coming up, wondering where the penalty was, and that might want to actually have gone. I know that if you're a Team Red enthusiast, so that would have been the right call, I think, from the officials. So he looked like he tripped a bit on his own accord. Either way, we're at the break. It's 5-3 in favor of Team Red. We're going to get you a scoring summary here. But while we're talking, we want to talk and thank Iron Ghost Construction, BioSteel, Elite Prospects, and Up My Hockey, all of them national sponsors here for the event, not only here in Saskatchewan, but also in the rest of the areas of the 4 locations where the Up My Hockey series has gone. Here's your period 2 scoring summary. Cohen Kershane with the goal at the 19:01 mark, and then followed up by several penalties throughout, and a goal again by Quinn Partington, who scored at 11:48 with the feed from Boston Unser, an assist also from Hudson Gran, and a pair of penalties to Weston Filson at the end of that goal by Quinn Partington, and Black were able to kill those off. Carson Lamotte right at the end of that series were able to score a goal, and Quinn Partington with his second goal of the game brings that to a 5-2 total, and then Sutter Cicchini and Jackson Walter combined for the goal to bring it to a 5-3 setting, and that is where we stand at the end of 2 periods of time. Stay tuned for an interview to talk about his thoughts about how the weekend has gone and what he thinks potentially moving down the road could look like for the Up My Hockey series. right, everybody, we're joined once again by the Saskatchewan director of the UMH-68 series, Mr. Hugh Hamilton, local executive and coach here in Martensville. And we interviewed you at the beginning of the experience. Now that we are almost at the end, what are the big takeaways from the event, and how do you think it's gone?
Well, I feel like we've had a lot of really positive feedback from families and kids and grandparents and everyone. I know from my side, heading into the event, you don't know, because it's my first time through, and you don't want to miss anything. And Jason's such a detail-oriented guy that, you know, you would hate to miss something like that. And that's, I think, one of the biggest pieces of feedback I think that we've got are those attention to detail items, you know, like the pan shells, the matching gear, the room setup, and there's just so many little things that Jason thought of that aren't always at these types of events, you know. And I think the other big takeaway would be just how much positive feedback we got from the off-ice events as well. So, you know, the fitness session and Blake's session, and of course Jason does a great job with his sessions. So those were other added value pieces that parents aren't always involved in. So those were really good at.
So obviously you're going to be involved in hockey again moving forward. You get a little bit of a summer. How does this event influence the work you do during the regular year, both maybe you know, as an in-school administrator, as a developer here of Martensville minor hockey?
Well, this just came at such a good time. I know, like, I talked to a lot of the boys about, you know, reconnecting with people and the connections that you have and make, and I don't know, I feel reinvigorated, you know, heading back into my school and even with minor hockey and coaching. It's just been such an amazing event for me personally that I can't say enough about it.
That's fantastic. What's summer looking like for you?
Not a lot. We always sports, always lake, and a lot of unwindings.
That's fantastic. And you know, as we wind down, is there anything that I haven't asked you, or any other points that you wanted to add that maybe you got some chances to do now? Or?
No, you know what? I think I said it already, but I can't say enough about Jason and what he does for kids and for hockey. And I'm just so proud that we're able to host an event like this, not just in Saskatchewan, but in Martensville.
Yeah, the facility's been fantastic, and you know, obviously your family's been here helping you out, a bit of a family affair like I know you always do. And I've had a great time. You brought me into the fold, and I always ask the question, how did you get anybody into this? The way I got into it, of course, we were sitting in the office one day and you said, hey, I think you've been listening to me, yeah, like talk on and on for 6 years at plus, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity to do this too. So this is Hugh Hamilton, the Saskatchewan director of UMH-68. Thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. Okay, we're back here after 40 minutes of play, 20 minutes to go. Team Red with the 3-goal performance there in the, actually 4 goals scored in the second period, but Black able to counter punch to bring it within 2, and we'll see if they're able to carry that momentum out with them into the remainder of this bronze medal game. At the end of it, someone's walking home with some medals and both teams walking home with a great story. And we're also going to have the Sidney Crosby Award winners for each team that'll be added to the Grit and Grind Award and to the 3 stars. So lots to check in for, lots to play for still. This game very much in doubt in terms of who's going to, not doubt, but very much in question as to who's going to walk away with this bronze medal. And stay tuned. We're out here a little early. You can see that the boys are pretty excited to get things back underway. And so we're going to kill a little time here in the final intermission of the gold medal game. Stay tuned. We're going to talk to the National Director of UMH-68, Jason Podolin, and just ask about his reflections on the experience. Like I said, we've had a lot of positive feedback from families in the area about just the respect and the excitement about focusing not only on what's going on in front of us here on the ice, but what the next couple of years will look like for these young men as they navigate the change from elementary to high school and what playing as a student athlete looks like into the future. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation and see how things go, but we have now started action, and Maxime Christian puts that puck down into the red zone, and Gontonia battling for it in the corner now, and a rub out on the board there, and up ice comes Rogers, and Rogers puts that puck on net, and Horn had to be sharp there, and that puck flipped up and ends up on the stick of Barber, and Barber in the first 2 periods, much more motion and range as a defender than we've seen him in the earlier games, and maybe we'll see more of that activity. And that shot on net, and it's gloved. And keep in mind that this red team started the tournament with an 8-2 loss to Team Gray, so they have steadily progressed as the weekend has gone by, found a way to win, and a couple of tweaks from their coach has created some line combinations that have had some effect here. And Team Black consistent throughout the entire weekend, and they don't seem to get rattled, this group. They will just keep plying their trade, even though whether they're up by 2 or they trail by 2, which we've seen in both instances here, killing penalties or double minors or being on the power play, they've been consistent across the board. And you see Walter putting a bit of a body on Unser, and now we've got a 3-man break. Roth coming in, jumping into Livingston. Livingston and his ability to score with the pass back to Walter, and Walter gets that shot on net, and that puck into the hands of Yashishin. And Yashishin hanging on to it, and he forces a face-off to the right of him. And first major line change of the game, or pardon me, of the period now, and we've got Fellner lining up, and I think it's Kershane based on the size. Kershane taking the draw here, and it's Kershane with the win, and the puck now down into Maholitz's hands and chipped up by Lamotte, but it lands in the hands of Team Black again. And now we're going to get a penalty here, and Fellner brought down, and I think this now time for Team Black. And Kershane, the offending player, and he will go to the box for 2 minutes, and Team Black has a chance to claw their way back into this contest. 18-13 mark of the period. I'm not sure what the call was. It's probably going to be either tripping or interference. Fellner ended up on the ice, and now he'll take the draw here with Lamotte. And the PK for Team Red. wins that face-off, and Lamont able to send it all the way down the ice. And Cicchini now, he plays it over to Pilipo, his partner for the entire weekend. And Pilipo, he's been a puck in front, and Lamont almost able. Lamont's still at it. And now Fellner able to come up. And he takes it, and he's going to go wide into the zone on the left-hand side, and he puts it down to Grimm. Grimm cycles it back to Fellner. Fellner looking up ice. He's got Cicchini. Cicchini, shot on net. Net one steered away by Yachishin, but Black retains it on the power play here. One thing that we've been impressed with Black the entire tournament is their ability to stretch out the offensive zone. And with the extra attacker here, or pardon me, with the man advantage, they're able to apply that even more. Very patient, looking for an opening there. Grimm, and Grimm now looking back across ice to Cicchini. And Cicchini now gets it low in that centering pass. And puck blocked and up ice now. And it looks like it's Hubick, and Hubick's gonna have a break, and Hubick hits the crossbar again. That's 12 now for the tournament. And maybe because we're keeping track, it seems to be hitting it quite frequently. So Hubick almost with the shorthanded goal. And we're gonna get a too many men call, and that'll nullify the man advantage. And a little bit of a mental breakdown there for the bench, and Walter's going to be the one that's going to have to go and serve this. And so we'll have 4v4 skating, and the three young men coming out for Team Red have certainly shown that they enjoy a little bit of extras. And that's Gran and Kahovic, along with Switzer and I think Barber. So taking the draw for Team Black, Bergen. And Bergen and Quo are in there, and Christian and Williams. So Christian settles in behind his net, and we're going to have a little bit of 4v4 action here for the next 15 seconds. 16:26 to go in the game. And now Maxime Christian. And I've become a big fan of his play during the course of the weekend. Very quietly doing his role and providing so much interference as a defender to assist his goaltender. And you can see he's enjoying himself, having a little conversation with Hudson Grand. And then Maxime Christian from the Saskatoon Titans last year, and he's maximizing his time here at the tournament for sure. That puck brought back now to Switzer. Switzer, one of the Alberta players, and now Quo also from Alberta. Switzer from Southern Alberta and Quo from Edmonton. They'll have a bit of a drive home after this event is done, and I wonder how much they'll actually be awake for. It's been a long weekend for these boys, and it's been a treat watching them play, and we're going to just enjoy watching these 32 young men in their final game here on the ice surface. And I'm sure over the next couple of years we're going to have an opportunity to listen to them at a variety of levels as they play their hockey, both at the AA level here in province of Saskatchewan and in Alberta, and then hopefully, I think the plan being to man those rosters in many of the major programs here in Western Canada. We talked earlier, and there's an opportunity there by Drennan Blair, and it gets blocked, and something, we got a too many men call again here, so we're not sure. And we talk about the mental game, and these boys having problems perhaps, and another too many men call assessed to Team Black. We talked about the length of this weekend, and that we weren't seeing some of these mental lapses. 5 games in 48 hours is a lot to ask, but it's even for both of them. And so Team Black are going to kill a 2-man, and we've had very few 2-man advantages, and that shot, Horn able to come up with that. And so the 3 defenders out right now for Team Black: Cicchini, Parkinson, and Pilpo. And Parkinson's been pretty good at the dot here on his draws. We'll see. And that comes loose. Partington and Pilpo. And Pilpo upends Grand, but Black gets that puck out. And we've been enjoying watching these young men play, as we'd mentioned, and the influence that these coaches have had on them, and especially the ambassadors, can't be understated. And I can imagine there are going to be a couple times where these boys are going to be on the rosters of some of these coaches going down the road. And there's elite hockey being played here in Western Canada, and it starts at grassroots levels like this in programs like that. A hard collision between Walter and Drennan Blair, and they both get up, and it's good to see. Team Black now only down by 1 player, and that will be another minute with 14:01 to go. Cicchini might have been a little hobbled there. He seems to be favoring one of his legs, but he's doing well, and he causes enough interference to keep that from being, shouldn't be using interference because he causes enough of a disruption, we'll say, in front of the net that Red is unable to mount anything solid. And Grimm now with a good solid process there, and things going Red's way right now. And Black doing a very good job of the kill here. We'll see if they can take some momentum off that penalty kill. The ref's been pretty good at keeping things even. There have been an even number, and so I'm anticipating Black might get another power play here before everything is said and done. And the seconds wind down here as Black now back to full strength. And Team Red up and out of the box. Walter comes out for Team Red. And Bergen, and we'll see if Bergen from the Hague product is able, and he can't find Livingston. That pass goes for an icing. Getting back to that AAA, the AAA U18 league here in province of Saskatchewan, especially strong this year. We remarked about the Regina Pat Canadians' success at the national level with the national championship. Lots of opportunities for these boys. And now with the growing number of academy opportunities coming to light as well, becomes especially important for families to have the most up-to-date information. And Jason and the Up My Hockey website, podcast, and YouTube channel are excellent resource to families trying to navigate their way through the expanding elite systems here. And as their boys get a little older, they might consider a subscription to the YouTube channel. It's free of charge, but you can get a hold of Jason's information through that Up My Hockey website and continue the conversation that's been started this weekend, navigating that as a parent and talking about kids playing away and billeting and all of that. Talk to a guy who's been through it himself and has the resources and supports available to ask the right questions. Do that at the Up My Hockey YouTube channel and with a subscription there for sure. You're also going to want to start talking about your son's footprint on social media and digitally, and no better place to put that information than Elite Prospects. Elite Prospects for serious hockey fans. Are you crazy about the NHL, this upcoming draft, and your team's top prospects? There's really no better place than Elite Prospects Rinkside, providing insight and analysis on players worldwide through written features, video breakdowns, and interviews. Elite Prospects, the gateway to hockey, online since 1999. EliteProspects.com is the #1 statistical hockey resource, serving over a million unique viewers weekly, and offers the most informative hockey player database on the web and has the most reliable transaction tracker available. Consider starting to get involved with that site as well as you start looking at opportunities for the next steps for your son's development here after the UMH experience. And play continuing on, both teams kind of settling in here in the third period. Team Red quite happy probably to continue to maintain this 2-goal lead, and Team Black now with a little bit of urgency in Guntoniuk. And he works in Quo on the trail, and Cicchini having to go back into his own zone now. He has a goal in the game and looked like he's going to try to come in here now and wheel and get a shot on. And Yashishin quite comfortable where he is, stopping the shots from that distance. He did allow that first goal, and it was a floater from Walter, and I think that handcuffed Yashishin. And now Team Black back to full strength, and Scheidel, and he'll have to come back. And Scheidel now with that pass off the boards ends up in the stick, and Scheidel sticks with it, and he pulls up trying to get that puck through to Grimm, and it's picked up by Drennan Blair, who's been a solid backstop there for the Team Red all weekend. And now Team Red, Kershane here, wheels looking for some room, and he's able to get it out over to Gruder. Gruder back down to Kershane. Kershane just leveraging that one hand on the puck, on the stick, and he gets a little bit of room, and he gets it back over to Mahalitz. And Team Red pinning in Black a little bit here, quite content to let time go. And now Gruder, and that shot deflected and then shot all the way down in that sequence, and good opportunity for Black now to get a change. Roth and Pilipo coming out now, and maybe a little adjustment in the defensive lines or the defensive pairing. We've got Roth and Pilipo. Pilipo and Cicchini have been paired for most of the weekend, but Cicchini represents a pretty good offensive threat, and Coach Bear might be loading up just to get a little bit of that extra push here with that adjustment. And of course, these AAA coaches and Coach Middleton as well accustomed to creating adjustments as things go on, and things getting a little heated there. Roth, of course, and he a little bit after the ice spots, and and Roth with his physicality, and it looks like he's been assessed a penalty here, and we'll see how long that penalty is. And he's getting a roughing call, and I'm not sure what's stacked on. A little unfortunate there, but the Grit and Grind award winner from yesterday's game, he'll go to the box again, but this young man from Southern Alberta, he's going to get some looks based on his willingness to mix it up a bit, and he brings another guy with him. We'll see whether a power play comes as a result of this, or whether it's simply just going to be both guys getting the box just to cool their jets for a while. The referee did signal, and I think it just came from the stick getting tangled up with the linesman's after the infraction. Coach Bear getting an explanation, and we'll see. We've got 8:35 to go in what I would consider still a fairly tightly contested game. Team Black's got the firepower to be able to bring themselves back. Coach Bear maybe not as satisfied with that explanation, and Grimm looks like he's going to have to go and serve. And once again, Team Black will be on the PK. And players having a little conversation too, just kind of shooting some time. Iron Ghost Construction has served as platinum sponsor for this event. We're very proud to continue to involve them as dedicated platinum sponsor of UMH-68. Iron Ghost has provided player scholarships at all 4 of the events nationally, helping young athletes chase their dreams on and off the ice. And Team Red enjoying a power play here. Maxime Christian right around Cicchini. And I'd keep an eye on number 7 there. He's had a couple of rushes there that have been deadly, and he might seize the opportunity here, short-handed, to kickstart his team. He's had a couple of instances where he scored some goals from some offensive creativity, and with this face-off down no, we've got Pilipo and Williams now on there, and Bergen, who factored early in the tournament, has been a little bit quiet from the score sheet. He's still there as a deadly threat, and Williams and he killing some time now with the good forecheck down in the, and they're happy to just let it stay there.
2 minutes for unsportsmanlike misconduct.
Oof. And so the additional penalty assessed to Roth was unsportsmanlike conduct, probably just the youth as a stick, and that shot from Williams tap in front of the net, but doesn't go in, and just a little bit offside was Boston Unser. Maybe a little frustration creeping in there at the tap on the stick. 7:27 to go. I'm very impressed. I'm an educator here in the city, and so I'm cognizant of the idea that these guys have been at school, juggling school and hockey, and they're due for a break, but 7:27 to go and likely one more week of school. They're dealing with fatigue issues, and they continue to perform at a high level. And so across the board, very proud, lots to be proud of these young men. That life of a student athlete is not an easy one. And in a time when we're seeing more and more people engaged more and more perhaps in the virtual world, not the real one, it's great to be here late in June with watching these fine young men work so hard and still have that fight in them. So I appreciate it, and I know everybody in the stands have been watching this and enjoying the fact that these 12 and 13-year-olds are still continuing to perform the level they are. So hats off to their families and the support systems as well. And that shot, wow. And speaking of a fine young man, Horn there has been under siege a little bit himself, and he's done a fantastic job. Penalty now having come to a conclusion. 6:24 to go in this game. You can see these guys are tired. We'll see if what's in the reserves left. We might have a player or two who's conserved some energy and might be able to kick-start the rest of this. The game's been knotted 5-3 for quite a while here. Remember to stay tuned. We will have an additional award handed out. No, they're calling Roth back to stay in the box. I'm not sure what he's there for, but it is 5v5 hockey here for the remaining 6 minutes, and we're going to enjoy all 6 of it with the last look at these 32 fellas. And we've had some entertaining games featuring all of them. You can look at highlights, and if you're wanting to relive the event, Alvin here next to me has been cataloging the entire series. Full game broadcasts are available along with highlights. That puck deflected wide. Make sure you get onto that YouTube channel, take a look. It's fantastic work that he's done, and I'm sure this will be an opportunity for some viewing, especially for those Alberta players on their way home. Some of them got about a 7-hour drive ahead of them. Some of these guys living right here in Martensville probably will be able to be fast asleep before the Alberta folks even reach the city limits in Saskatoon. But take an opportunity to direct, if they haven't, the boys probably already know exactly where to see these video highlights. And just a fantastic package put together by the Up My Hockey. And there we've got an opportunity, and what an opportunity it was. Team Red with some great passing back and forth. And Hudson Gran, you talk to anybody who has experience watching the AA League here in the province, and Hudson Gran's name features frequently. He's a well-liked kid, but when he's not on your team, he's also, he can cost you, and he proving how resilient he is. He's still firing all cylinders. Of course, the young man had his birthday yesterday, unable to get the score. He may have been on the score sheet there, but present to himself. 2 goals so far in this contest. 5:29 to go, and it looks like Team Red now with a 3-goal lead. And we'll see if Black can get a pushback. Add to the highlight reel for them. And Red, what a turnaround for Red. They lost 8-2 in the first game of the tournament, and it was looking like it was going to be a long weekend for them, and they have built some chemistry during the course of the time, and hats off to Coach Middleton and to Shane Smith from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. They've had a great time in the dressing room, on and off the ice, and they were able to rally that team and continually make improvements. And it looks like that's having a show, but Black still wanting to have their say in what's going on. And Cicchini now, we said to keep an eye on him, and he, I think you'll still see some heroics from him. And now coming up the sidelines, side of the ice on the right side, Unser, and his centering pass falls into Cicchini's hands. And Cicchini, nice outlet pass up to Gantoniuk, and Gantoniuk up to Quo, and now following that Featherstone, and Featherstone puck tied up, and Partington, he came out without his stick, but he put a little body there, and it's Black in front of him, and a centering pass there. New set of defenders, Maxime Christian, and Christian very subtly, that was great play. Just using his body and his stick, there was no way that Boston Unser was going to get anywhere close to that puck. And Christian, if I'm a coach and I'm looking at just getting a solid defender, he's got a low center of gravity, that guy, and that was evident. That doesn't mean a breakdown in speed. What edge control, and it's fantastic play. Can't emphasize enough, especially at the age level we are. The focus on the highlight piece, of course, really important, but it's little plays like that. Maxime Christian, asset to this team and everything that he does, I'm sure, during the regular season as well. And working our way in here now, Team Black looking for a way to get that puck out and into open space, and Kershane and Lamotte. They've been a big 1-2, and Hubick. The beefing up of that line has certainly produced results. 3:34 to go in this game. And we've had just an amazing opportunity to do some wonderful things here for the boys, and that comes with some sponsorship from BioSteel. BioSteel coming in big for all 4 events in UMH-68. Quick shout out to them. They have just dropped a hydration variety pack at Costco Canada. 4 bottles, 3 unreal flavors, 0 sugar. Clean, healthy hydration for athletes and families. Grab it next time you're in Costco, and really almost everybody's going to be driving right by Costco North here in Saskatoon. Your chance to pick it up. 3 minutes to go, and Coach Bear has the extra attacker on the ice now. And they are pulling out the stops here to see if they can mount a comeback in this final frame. 26 shots on net for Team Black. And one of the stories here is Red doing a good job of just limiting those scoring opportunities with a lot of shot blocking here as this winds through Kahovic. And there's the shot for Black, and that's a goal. And so 3:07 now left in the game, and Black up by a goal. And there's conversation going on. I'm not sure. And he's pointing at the net as though it's a goal. And so Fellner with another notch on his stick for this weekend, and he's able to score. And Yashishin skating that one off, but Horn back in the net, and we'll see what happens. But that 6v5 format, Black with the goal, and we'll see. And we're going to keep an eye on this one to see whether the goalie's able to come out again. And in that instance, Switzer able to bring that puck in, and a shot on net. And that was a well-gloved by Horn. Both coaches with the timeouts left, and so we'll see I'm sure we're going to see a timeout called at some point, but it'll be likely Coach Bear calling it with an offensive zone face-off. As these boys develop some hockey IQ, we'll see Coach Bear, of course, wanting to get likely a shot, so maybe one of the strategies here, get it deep and get it on net so that we get a stoppage in play and coach is able to pull out the goalie and use one of his timeouts, or use his timeout. Keeping an eye right now. We're going to want to see some established possession and potentially a stoppage in play. And here we go. Cicchini, he's going to buy some time. Cicchini, it's that puck in, and he gave enough time for his goalie to get to the net, and the extra attacker's out. And so just a subtle little play there, but his ability to handle it. And now he's got a little pressure on him with two guys hounding him. And an empty net. Cicchini, and he comes out, and look at him go now. He's winding it up. And Cicchini, he's going to keep it, knowing that possession here. Cicchini, wrap around, and we called it. There's the goal. You just knew he was loading up. And a nice wrap around there, and Yashishin had that post covered, and he just couldn't get across fast enough. And Cicchini, using that long frame of his, and now we're within one. And Coach Bear, some of that experience coming out. He didn't burn a timeout. He knew something that we didn't. He's got that timeout still in his back pocket. And now we'll see if we can get that offensive zone pressure that'll allow Coach to get a chance to get his guy out, use that, and that goal, and now the extra attacker coming out. And Cicchini, the goal scorer, able to do a couple of good things there in that shift. One of them being was the puck control he was able to carry. And here he goes again. Can he do it twice? Lightning strike twice, and a good stop there. And a shot in the goal. Bergen this time. And we are tied with 88 seconds to go. And during the broadcast, we talked about the effects that Cicchini has been able to bring to the table, and two amazing shifts. Really one amazing shift, but Cicchini taking that in, and he put that puck hard on the ice, and Bergen, he's back on the score sheet. We talked about how he had been quiet for a while there in this tournament. Now he makes his presence felt. And now the ice slanting more and more in favor of Team Black, and they've got a brand new life. And it only makes sense. We're going to get, hopefully, although both teams maybe wanted to get this done in regulation, but we're going to be treated to a little bit more of this hockey, ideally. And Hubick now, and Lamont, Hubick, and Kershane, they're working their win, and a good shot, save there by Horn.
Assist by number 7,
and Cicchini, and Kershane trying to work his way out of the corner there, and he's stopped by Pilipo. And you talk about the effects that coaching has perhaps on a short time duration like this, but we've seen in a couple of instances on all four benches adjustments and gambles, and 3 goals in 2 minutes time. Coach Bear and his team putting on a bit of a masterclass in terms of grit and grind, and it'll be hard to figure out who wins that award from the side on the block, and maybe it's the fedora that Coach Bear's sporting, but he's now calling a timeout. And so with 27 seconds left in the game, things looking like we might get a little bit of an extra play situation, and as an unbiased observer, I'm very happy that we're going to get a little bit more time there. I know that if you're in the Black camp, you're probably there with me, that you're happy your team is drawn even. Team Red they've got danger on their side. They could finish this game in a heartbeat as well. And so I think Coach Bear just wanting to make sure that his boys stay present in the moment, wisely calling that timeout, saying, look, we got to take care of things. And Coach Middleton, he's got tools in his tool belt too, and he goes right to Gran. Gran had 2 goals in this game, and Gran, he represents a threat. In those 20 seconds, no lead is safe here, and that puck centered in front. And we've seen a couple of instances there where, you know, Yukon Kim's goal with less than a second to go in the second period yesterday in a game. There is so much time left in a clock. If you recall watching the Winnipeg Jets, they had an amazing goal right at the end, and that's nice to see that trickle down here to the 2012 birth year group too. They're using every second of those 60 minutes, and after 60 minutes of play, we're going to go to a 10-minute sudden death overtime. And if you take a look at the scoreboard right now, other than the timeout that Red has left, it doesn't get more balanced and even than we've seen right now. 6 goals aside, 31 shots aside. And what a job Hugh Hamilton, the provincial director, has done in putting together 4 teams. He couldn't get it any more even than he's done here. And we're just delighted that we're going to get an opportunity. I know as a parent myself, when we've watched overtimes, it may not feel that way, but this is something special that we are seeing here. 22nd of June, we are getting more hockey out of the experience than we had anticipated, and that's credit to everybody involved in this tournament. And once again, we line ourselves up, and it's Partington is going to line up to take the face-off here for Team Red. And Fellner for Team Black. What an amazing opportunity here on this Sunday morning at Martensville Recreation Center. And we're not done. We've got a gold medal contest waiting with blue taking on gray. But black and red, this story isn't done yet, and we're going to see what happens in 10 minutes. Sudden death, and this is second game in a row that's gone to overtime. Of course, last night's game, Red on the losing end of that, and we'll see if they can redeem that crushing loss. And of course, that one was Cardinal with the overtime goal, and so we'll see who joins him in the overtime goal category here. And Cicchini picking up where he left off there, putting some pressure defensively. And now we've got Gran. And Gran coming in here. Gran, we talked about the fatigue level of these boys, and for a large portion of the third period, they were looking pretty slow to a man, and they've shaken that off now. This overtime and those late goals has definitely brought life back into the game. And it's only fitting that we finish the weekend with these boys firing on all cylinders for sure. Puck now down, and I think that is Fellner. Fellner's got some room. He's been left all alone there, and he's looking for the low corner, but he wasn't able to find it. Now Bergen, one of the goal scorers here, and I think it was Bergen actually with the equalizer. He's back out there. Christian with the feed across Williams. Williams with a shot, and that is saved by Gunnar Yachishин, and he hangs on to it. Another face-off with 8:37 to go in the overtime period. And we won't start discussing what happens after that's done, but we do need a winner here, and we will whittle things down in the 4 versus 4 format of the overtime period. There might be a slight edge in terms of speed, maybe for that Grand line, but Team Black, there's Quo, and Quo, and he leaves it for his teammate, but it gets cleared out, and now both teams very guarded, not wanting to give an inch here. And that puck contested and comes out of play here. We'll have face-off right in front of the player's box. And it's actually going to come all the way down. It looks like deemed to come off of Team Black. So the puck face-off will be to the left of Horn. And a face-off win there by Filson. And Cicchini, he's going in, he's enjoying that extra room, and he has found another gear late in the game, and he's provided the boost his team is needed. And not to be outdone, Lamont with a head of steam, and Blair now. That feed across over to Kershane. Kershane, of course, with that 4-goal performance last night, would love nothing more than to put an overtime winner onto his resume coming out of the weekend. And Williams now has to go back, and he's going to take a look, survey, put it up to Filson, and it goes past Filson. But now Filson another chance, and Grimm coming in. Grimm patiently waiting to Filson, and that just tipped. And coming up is Lamont, and that puck put in. Oh, and maybe a little bit of whistle swallow in there. That looked like a too many men scenario, and in a period where Team Black had to kill it twice for too many men, a case might have been made that Black should have been on the power play. But nevertheless, Maxime Christian, what did that look like if Christian, a stay-at-home defender, was the one to finish this one? Man, we're going to have to wait a little bit. And there's Fellner, and he loses his edge there. And Bergen now. Bergen, he strips the puck. And Mahulitz settles things in, and back again is Fellner, and Williams takes a look, chips it over to, and now a lot of room here. And Cicchini, you're gonna have to watch Cicchini. He's gonna come in, he's got a shot. Oh, he was looking for that top corner. And I'm sure he wishes he had that shot back again. But Bergen now, Block with a little bit of an edge here in terms of possession during this 4v4. Team Red, reeling a little bit. And that puck right there, Pilipo. Oh. You're kind of just pulling. It would be kind of neat if one of these stay-at-home D guys was the one to capture that glory. And Pilipo, a great opportunity. In front, Bergen. Nice feed. And Fellner not able to get his mitts on that one, or he did, I guess, but not able to get it up and over. And now Hudson Gran with Fellner in pursuit. Gran. Just a great play by Fellner, and that was one of the deadlier players in the tournament, Hudson Gran. And Fellner, what a back check he had there. That might have saved the game. And now Gran again. Second chance, Gran. What a save! Horn. They promised this was going to be a showcase of talent, and man, these kids have delivered. I think we should just play a completely new game here afterwards this afternoon. We just continue. It's really going to be tough to see a loser out of this one, but wow. Now Team Red, I think, have taken their timeout, but Hudson Gran, 2 opportunities, and Horn shuts the door. And we got to be a fly on the wall there to see. You see both coaches having a chance to get in there and say their 2 cents. You can see, speaks to the magnitude of the skill level of these coaches and the buy-in. Look at the boys hanging on every word from Coach Baird, Coach Middleton. And we're very thankful that these men have taken time out of their busy schedules to become involved in this tournament. And there's been ups and downs in all parts here. We're talking about the one-sided loss that Red had early on in the tournament and their ability to regroup. Black playing so well and losing that heartbreaker there yesterday to Blue. And none of that matters now as we're into the overtime period. And when all the dust settles, these young men are going to have some amazing stories they're going to be able to share And what an opportunity brought to us by UMH-68 Hugh Hamilton and his local crew, working in hands with Jason Padola. And on that shot hits the post. My goodness, Walter, who opened the scoring, rips one, and that one goes off. And I'm not sure what it's going to take to finish this one off, but it's not for lack of trying. Both sides with amazing opportunities, and maybe it's going to come from a defender. And that puck head-manned up here, Boston Unser, he wants it to be him. And look at Unser, he's sticking with it now. Kahovic, and that puck off the stick, and Cecchini coming down now, and he is marked up there well by Drennan Blair. Cecchini, he is tough to get off that puck. And the Saskatoon Fury product has really had a huge impact on the last part of this game. And Partington and Pilipo, he comes up with it, and now a clear. And Bergen, he's coming down. 3:31 to go in extra time. 4v4 format. And Pilipo now, he gets in a little deep. Two defensemen sparring for it, and up comes, I want to say, that puck right in there, and another chance on net. And Kershane and Horn standing in strong. He's made some big stops here in this overtime period. He kept them in it when they were down by 3, and he's still, a shot will do it. Any shot will do at this point, but it might come down to 5 shots aside. That might be the way we have to get this settled out, because neither team giving an inch, but they're not playing conservatively. They are looking for that goal. And what a point on the resume that would be to score the winner here to finish this game off. And Maxime Christian, he brings that all the way down. Livingston's had a couple of tallies, and he's relatively quiet this game, but he could end it with that quick shot of his. And a pass in front. Partington looking for it, and now right on cue, Livingston. Look at the back check by Drennan Blair, and he could feel the heat of it. Blair right on his shoulder, and right at the end of that shift, Livingston, he comes off, and he's gonna get a little bit of a rest there. Maybe enough time to get out there one more time. 2:10 now left in this overtime period. Don't forget to stick around at the end of the game for the Ritchie Brothers Auction 3 Stars. Oh, and the Weatherspoon Realty Grit and Grind Award, and then the Sidney Crosby Award, which will be presented to each team. The player picked by the coaches to best exemplify those players, their coachability. And there is a nice long ice pass, and we've got Felder in. Felder sees it all the way through, and Cecchini with another great, Sutter Cecchini, he might be a good pick for that Sidney Crosby Award. I don't envy the coaches, though. They're picking one player, and that's sort of a tournament on and off the ice award, that Sidney Crosby. And that'll be an additional award provided, and there's a medal associated with this. And that shot, and that steered aside again. And I don't know who you pick from either of these teams, really.
This is the last one to play in overtime.
You might have to get a better neck thing. You're going to have to award it to a couple of guys. But we're into the last minute of overtime. And am I the only one that... I know that the shootout is a tough way to go when I'm cheering for a team. But who wouldn't want to see these goaltenders showcase their skill against an uncontested attack? These guys have got some shooting ability too. Fellner unable to hang on to that. And now Hudson Gran. And Gran, he's all by himself here, but he doesn't seem to have any fear. And he almost gets that across. And Cecchini, he's doing it at both sides of the ice. And now Filson coming up. 14 seconds to go. And time for one last shot and we're going to run here. One maybe opportunity if we can dig this puck out, and it's 4 seconds to go. And Filson with the final shot, and it hits the back of the leg. Whoa! And we are tied at 6. And we're going to a 3-person shootout. Somebody check on the 2 goaltenders, Paris, because they are probably having heart palpitations at the moment. How do you even pick the 3 shooters? And this is the bronze medal game, folks. We still got the gold medal game ahead of us, and we are getting our money's worth here in front of a crowd. Team Blue and Team Gray. They are extra little bit of time to get nerves up for the gold medal game, but right now we've got 3-on-3 shootout. Horn and Horn in the right to the broadcast right will be facing Kershane. First shooter for red, Cohen Kershane from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, the Alberta Elite Hockey League product. And of course he had 4 goals there. And it looks like maybe Livingston. Okay, Livingston will have that. And they probably gave Coach Bear, because they had the higher seed, Coach Bear decides he's going to put it on to Livingston first. And Yashishin and Livingston coming in. And Livingston can't get it up and over the pad of Kershane. Or pardon me, of Yashishin. And now Kershane, he'll go. And we'll see whether he goes in with the slow delayed approach or whether he goes full steam. I'm going to guess he's probably a full steam kind of guy. And here he comes. And Horn, he's made some huge stops in Kershane. And he scores. And Kershane puts Team Red up by a goal after the first shooter. And that'll make that ride back to Fort Saskatchewan, just outside of Edmonton. He's going to have that to think about. But I don't think he'll be happy unless Team Red comes out. But Ryland Bergen now. Bergen's drive a little shorter. He's just coming down to, he's going to Hague. And Bergen now coming in with some speed. And he notches one. Personally, that's my favorite approach, is where you're coming in with a little bit of a head of steam there and doesn't give the goaltender much chance, and he did a good job. He got Yachishin to extend, and he just buries it 5-hole. And now Hudson Gran, and Gran can shoot it. He can deke. He has a goal in this game already with a deke, and let's see what he's got in store. And Gran gets in too tight. Horn. And now we're dead even. Of course we're going to have an even Steven, 1 shooter left. Walter has a goal in the game already, and we'll see. He tattooed that crossbar too.
Up next for black, number 14, Jackson Walter.
With that, and Walter coming in. Some nice speed there, and this time Yachishin, he's better for it. And Lamont, I know he's going to have to shake that weight of this off. And
number 17,
Carson Lamont from Milo, playing for the Foothills Bisons. And Lamont, he's coming in here now. And Lamont, everybody draws quiet. Lamont, and he's stopped by Horn. And we're going to go to an extra shooter now. This is sudden death. Fellner. And Fellner going to do his best to put his team up and over the top.
Number 12, Jack Fellner.
Fellner looking down Yachishin. And Yachishin. I wonder whether these guys look forward to an opportunity like this, or Yachishin and Fellner just with that delay. And now the pressure on Partington.
Number 10, Quinn Partington.
And will the comeback be complete? Or is Partington going to find a way to extend this? Partington, he's found the back of the net a couple of times in this, and no more important time than now. Here he goes. The weight of his team on his shoulders. Partington. In he goes, Partington. What a goal! Wow! Partington with a beauty move. Jeez. Cool as a cucumber. Everybody up here on the mezzanine is just...
And for black, number 7,
a lot of appreciation for there. Now Cicchini. Cicchini, the one, of course, who forced this. And now Sutter Cicchini, he's coming in here. And Cicchini, and he can't get past, and that one gloved. And now, pressure again, Drennan Blair.
Red number 7, Drennan Blair.
Drennan Blair could end it. And all eyes now on the young Morningside product here. He comes in. And the lefty, he comes across the line, and Horn coming out. And Blair wins it for Team Red.
Team Red
and Team Red with the shutout, or with the shootout victory. And what a journey that's been for them. They dropped a tough one to start, losing 8-2. And early in this tournament, we were thinking it could potentially be a long haul, but Team Red able to pull it out, and Drennan Blair able to go to the backhand and score. And hats off to Team Black for a wonderful tournament as well. They were out with 3 minutes to go, and they pushed it right to the end. Horn, so stellar in this, but Drennan Blair with an exclamation point on the weekend for Team Red, and it doesn't get any tighter than that, folks. Stay tuned. We're going to have 6 players receiving awards here, 1 for each team for the Grit and Grind Award, sponsored. We'll pull up our at the these Grit and Grind Award won by Weatherspoon Realty. And then we're going to have the Sidney Crosby Awards, which are selected by the coaches. So,
the winner of the Grit and Grind Award wins a $30 gift.
Grit and Grind Award winner with the Boston Pizza $30 gift certificate award going to Team Black. Number 2, Declan Scheidel. Man, Scheidel, I know he's disappointed, but he played really well. Grit and Grind, the Nipawin product.
And now for the
and we'll be, of course, seeing more of him probably in the years to come. Now the 3-star selection, the 3rd star
UMH-68 Saskatchewan
in this final bronze medal game. The 3rd star winner is going to
3rd star for today's game from Team Red.
Team Reds.
Number 13, Reed Kahovic.
And Reed Kahovic, he picks up the 3rd star. Kahovic, of course, part of that Gran Rogers Kahovic line.
From
Team Black's, the 2nd star going to number 14, Jackson Walter. And of course, Walter started this all off with the goal to begin early in the game. And the bronze medal game, 1st star, Team Reds, number 15, Hudson Gran. And Gran, he picks up the 1st star award. And now we're going to have the Sidney Crosby Award handouts. And that's Coach Jason Podolin.
For this event, we will be announcing the Sidney Crosby Award winners before the gold medal game, and we will be announcing the All-Stars for the tournament after the gold medal game.
And the All-Star selections and the Sidney Crosby winners will be all handed out. Players will have a chance to collect themselves, get themselves changed.
If you are sticking around, have a safe drive.
And we're just getting some words from Jason Podolin, and we're going to have an as well, of course, the national director of the UMH-68 series, and he has a wonderful podcast, the Up My Hockey podcast, and you might want to give it a listen to the next time you're working, and if you're streaming, you can bring it and listen to it on the way home even. And now we're going to have an ice clearing, and both teams ready for the gold medal game featuring Team Gray taking on Team Blue. And we'll check back in with you once that's up and running. Thanks for tuning in to game number 9 of the UMH series.